it's, at the very least, can there just be something talk like, okay, you wanna raise it 8%, go ahead. But can you go over the minimum then, or raise the minimum that we're allowed, you know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely. So from the city standpoint, we do use Iowa Rural Water Association, which is separate from Regional Water Association, to do a cost and rate study analysis. And every time they propose a rate, we go back and we look at that. We run those calculations to see. So like this past year, they raised it 10%. We passed on a 4.25% raise to our citizens because that's what we absolutely needed to cover the water budget. We did not raise the full 10%, which would have given us much more cushion in the water budget, but we don't do that because the goal of this council, and I can tell you, every single one of them hate to sit at that table and ever raise the utility rates.
yeah.
So.
Enough polluted. Have they, outside of sucking off Counts Bluffs now, are they doing anything with their own facility by fixing it? Seeing what the problem is outside maybe low water?
They did drill some exploratory wells last summer, I believe it was, but none of them provided adequate capacity for them to even bother looking them up.
Just recently, within the last month or two, they did try to hit a deeper aquifer called the Dakota Aquifer. Their well field is considered a shallow well field, roughly about 50 feet deep on all their wells. The Dakota Aquifer goes down about 150 feet. They did not hit it once, unfortunately. So that's less than great news on that front from the infrastructure investment that they are making.
Hi, Rick Thompson, and I wasn't here on city council, and I wasn't around when the water company came in, rural water company came in, but somebody told me that they said there was an abundance of water, that we should never have to worry about a water situation with. I've heard that from several city council members at the time. Nothing against you guys, but there must have been some really poor mismanagement on their end to get us in this situation. Just a couple of things, Meg. Would you go over next Wednesday? That is when the generator is supposed to be set in place.
So I'm gonna field that question over to Tyler because he has the operational support a little bit better dialed in because of his situational updates.
Yeah, so Wednesday is the tentative delivery date from State Rural Water Association and our Department of Homeland Security out of the Des Moines office there. They work together on those things to make that delivery happen. So they have ownership in that together, the way it sounded this morning. So Wednesday is to be the day when they were expected to deliver it.
And then the following Wednesday, that was an important day too, Tyler.
They said within 2 weeks they should be operational is their plan, but that was tentative, and we said at this morning's meeting, we want a hard timeline Friday morning, so we can be able to pass that on to the customers and residents.
Sounds good.
So-
One other thing, somebody was just asking if there's gonna be a refund of overcharges, when this is all said and done too, so. Anyway, thank you guys, it's good to see all the interest.
I do know that asking for compensation is on the docket for tomorrow's meeting. So that is something that is already on our list to take to Regional Water. So we fully intend to ask for compensation for this situation.
I was at that meeting, and they did say there was abundance of water, and that's why I tell you, you can't believe or trust anything they say.
Molly, just a quick question. Well, first of all, thank you for what you guys have done to get this put together. Quick question, maybe it's silly, but you talked about the board, Regional Water Board. Is that a board that is appointed or elected? Do we have a representative on that board taking our concerns?
So one of the things that I did gloss over, during the calendar year of 2024, the cities of Brayton and Exira did recommend one of our council members for appointment on that board. He sat briefly on that board for a short term.
So yeah, I filled out the remainder of a term. It was just 1 year left. It was long enough to know that that was not the place to be when that term expired. It did not rerun. I also talked to probably 40 to 50 people at least, trying to find somebody from over here that had the time to sit on those board meetings. They're 4 hours, they start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Nothing gets accomplished generally. But yes, anybody that's a member, so if you're drinking rural water, you're a member, you just go to their general meeting, they have an election. Exira gets 1 vote because we are 1 customer. We resell it ourselves, Brake get 1 vote because they're 1 customer. My case, 1 vote, I was in. What they did when my term ran out was just change the number of directors. They didn't even fill that seat. They just said, we'll just drop that one off. So the next meeting, there was 1 less person at the board table. I had 1 quick thing on the pipeline too, just so everybody doesn't get your hopes clear up in there and Tyler Square where this. That pipeline has never been tested yet. It's installed from 2 different directions by 2 different contractors and has yet to be pressure tested. So that has to happen first, I believe.
And then that's part of their
Or they're
process of that piece, yeah.
I'm just curious, does anyone know if Regional Water continues to sign up, communities? When was the last community they signed up for?
So I did ask that question in our meeting the other day because it was a comment and some concerns from some of our partners here in Exira and Brayton area. They told me, because there was rumors that there was gonna be another community added on to that pipeline coming from Council Bluffs to Minden. And I asked that direct question, they said absolutely not, that's not, it's in their bylaws that they are in any form of level of conservation, they cannot add any new customers. Now, I'll let Megan finish her side of the story.
With that being said, you can all imagine our level of trust at Regional Water is slim to none. And we have also have our suspicions. They have not had time to research or substantiate the fact that the regional water system is basically divided up into 2 halves. The Avoca treatment plant system, which serves the east side of the system, which is us, and the west side of the system, which is now there are already parts that get their water from Council Bluff Waterworks. I do believe that there have been customers attached to that water source from Council Bluffs that they do not have issues supplying the water to. So when you look at it, when they say these conservation states affect Exira, Brayton, and ATP system users, the Avoca treatment plant users, those other people on the other side, I question that they haven't added people along that side of the system. That is something that we are looking into and researching. Unfortunately, you don't go into those meetings and make unsubstantiated claims, so we want to make sure that we know what we're talking about before we address that issue. Anyone else? With that, I am going to give our elected officials some moments to make some closing remarks to end out this meeting before we do adjourn tonight. Oh, okay. One thing. This is another, sorry. In pulling a meeting together in less than 24 hours, things get a little crazy. We have added, right here, on the screen right now is a QR code. Regional Water provides an alert system, similar to what we would use for our emergency alerts with Alert Iowa. You can scan this code, and you will get a direct text message when alerts are released immediately. So at 3:21 on Saturday afternoon, I received the Boyle Advisory Alert because I am signed up for this. So this is another notification piece to help our residents and some of those people who may not follow our Facebook, see our websites, etc. Scan that code and you will get the text message directly from Regional Water. There are also codes on many of the tables, and I will work on getting that up on Facebook and the website here soon.
I want to thank everybody for coming, and then just to reiterate, you're doing an awesome job. Like we talked, we're using 30,000 gallons less a day than we were not that long ago. So I mean, what you're doing out there is really making a difference, and we really appreciate it. And we're doing our darndest to get this thing figured out. So like I say, I appreciate y'all coming and taking an interest in what's going on. I know there's a lot of rumors going around, so we're trying to dispel some of the rumors and things. So just bear with us and we'll get through this as a city and hopefully move on.
That, Mayor, I think you can make a motion.
Okay, I guess if there's nothing else, I'll enter a motion to adjourn. Dory makes the motion to adjourn, Mark Paulson seconded, all in favor? Motion passed. Again, thank you all for coming, and we'll, see what we get done tomorrow at their board meeting over in Avoca. Hopefully we can have some better news to report.